Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay?
The acrimonious passage of the Finance Bill 2018 and its subsequent signing into law by President Uhuru Kenyatta introduced a raft of new taxation measures that the already overburdened taxpayer has to bear with. President Kenyatta acknowledging the burden of financing the national and 47 county governments, 16 commissions and independent bodies, and a bicameral parliament, prime features of the Constitution enacted 8 years ago.
The enjoyment of the new rights that we gave ourselves in 2010 has been expensive and unprecedentedly so.
The 2017-2018 budget demonstrating the cost of running a mega government with a total revenue of 1.48 trillion shillings, out of which 1.36 trillion shillings was generated through various tax measures. Recurrent expenditure accounted for 1.25 trillion shillings, while only 485 billion shillings was set aside for development. County governments were allocated 306 billion shillings. The 2018-2019 financial year is no different. Out of the projected 1.7 trillion shillings tax revenue, recurrent expenditure is allocated 1.5 trillion shillings, with 666 billion shillings going to development, while 324 billion shillings is budgeted for county governments, and the figures could be revised downwards if the National Assembly approves the supplementary budget when it resumes its sittings next week.
If you have a big government, such as we have now, you'll find that a lot of the money gets absorbed in just running government. And so the rationalization comes to get the money now to do development, you must borrow. But how is that money used when it is borrowed? You know, that is really the question.
Mutava Musimi chaired the Budget Committee in the 11th Parliament and co-chaired the Working Group on Socio-Economic Audit of the Constitution in 2016. The Working Group pointed out inefficiencies and wastage of public resources in the two levels of government, alongside the cost of running the government. 2 years on, little has changed.
And I think for the last 8 years, the country has had an opportunity to test this Constitution. And what has come out very clearly is that we have an extremely large government, especially in the two arms of government that have been devolved. That is the executive and the legislature.
We were creating too many elected positions in this country. We have too many constituencies. For a population of 45 million, 290 constituencies are too many.
Our problems are not related to those positions. Our problems are elsewhere. It's about prudent use of public resources.
Duplication of roles at the national government and the 47 county governments comes to the fore. Other than the president and his deputy, there are 22 cabinet secretaries, over 30 principal secretaries, chief administrative secretaries, heads of various directorates, 7 regional coordinators previously known as provincial commissioners, 47 county commissioners, 289 deputy county commissioners, previously called district commissioners, 831 assistant county commissioners, earlier known as DOs, 3,256 chiefs, and 8,145 assistant chiefs. In the devolved units are 47 governors and their deputies, county executive members CECs, chief officers, sub-county administrators, and ward administrators.
So we need to come back to this conversation about this Constitution. Is it working for us? Is it too expensive?
There is also the burden of representation. For a country of 45 million people, there are 349 members in the National Assembly, who include 47 woman representatives and 12 nominated members of parliament. The Senate has 67 members, 20 out of whom are nominated. There are 1,450 elected members of the county assemblies, with another 1,000 who are nominated to represent various interest groups. Talk of a looming referendum to amend the Constitution slowly taking root, even as the Building Bridges panel, established as a result of the handshake between President Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga, gets down to business.
So the best time, if you ask me, is between 2019 and 2020 to insulate the constitution review process from the politics of the next general election, in my view.
With at least 650 billion shillings being used annually to service the public debt, that has hit an all-time high of 5 trillion shillings, questions abound on whether Kenyans are getting value for money from the mega projects initiated ostensibly to spur economic growth.
But when you have a project that is supposed to cost tuseme ni bilioni 5, inagharamia bilioni 30 na kitu, na ingine inakuja ni hivyo, hii ndio budget, this is the reality, we've taken our eye off the ball.
Quality versus quantity, the debate rages on 8 years into the 2010 constitutional order. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.